Welcome back. Let's talk about commodities. Last few days, there have been lots of news flow surrounding commodities. Will China crack down on the speculative positions in China? Will they try and bring down the frothy levels that we've seen in commodities? But today, there is an up move seen across base metals, supported by the strong U.S. economic data. As Manisha is here, our commodities editor, to give us a roundup. Hi, Manisha. Morning.
Hi, thank you for that. Yes, we have seen very strong data coming from US, whether it has been about just jobless claims or core numbers, and that really seems to be supporting the prices right now. And the view is that even as China is trying to crack down on the speculation in the commodity futures, on ground there is still buying continuing from the Chinese government and the Chinese companies as well. So the on-ground demand is on the stronger side, and that is supportive. I also want to talk about individual metal prices here, where we have seen the copper prices rebound by nearly $100 in last two trading sessions. So we are back above $10,000 per ton on this one. Apart from stronger data, it also is about threads of strikes that we have seen in the mines in Chile, whether it has been about BP or Escondida or Spence mines. All of them are threatening to strike. The US multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure plan is yet another reason that you have seen support come in here. Copper, as we continue to say, is also crucial for the transition out to the carbon-free world. That is supportive. And with the way we look at the mining structure right now, in the last 1 year as well, we haven't seen any increase in investment or new projects being lined by the miners, even as the prices have run up so much. So markets do believe that going forward, even as the demand is going to show a very strong growth, the supply clearly may not be catching up there. The other one is nickel, which is also trading at a one-week highs. Now here as well, we've seen the market deficit widen. The first quarter in this year has seen a huge deficit as compared to the surplus in 2020 that we were working with. And nickel also is used in green energies and EVs, and that is where it gets its support from. The other metal which actually has outperformed in the last couple of sessions has been zinc. This one is trading at a two-year highs. There are concerns about production in China, where we have seen a 10% cut in power generation to be used by these smelters. And the expectation is that 10% capacity for smelting of refined zinc might go down because of that. So as I said, the macros seem to be positive. The China story seems to be easing off a bit. And then the individual fundamentals are quite supportive. So some strength coming back for many of these metals.
Manisha, thanks very much for that. So that's a roundup as far as commodities are concerned at this point in time. Let's talk about markets now, and we spoke with Gautam Shah, founder and chief strategist of Goldilocks Premiums Research. This is a little earlier today. His thoughts on the Nifty Bank, what IT stocks are likely to do from here. His take from here out. Listen in.
The genuine breakout. There is clearly a lot more upside. There are no signs of topping out. None of the technical studies are overbought, even at this juncture. And the market has really climbed a wall of worry. And I think more and more people are now convinced that, markets know the economy much better than, all of us put together. So I do believe that in the near term, we could be moving towards 15,600, 650. That's a minor stopover point. But eventually, I think the foundation has been laid for 16,000. So that's the number we could get to very, very soon. As the numbers started to ebb, on the COVID front, I think banks and autos, started to do well. And what we noticed last week, the move past 34,000, I thought was a super quality breakout. And it suggests that the bank Nifty should be heading towards 36,500 in the near term. And eventually, I think 37,600 is also likely. If somebody wants to take a slightly longer term view, I think a 41,000 is also possible on the bank Nifty. But you need to have that kind of a perspective. You don't want to look at the markets on a day-to-day basis. So banks, I think, are right up there, and you have solid support now being created around 34,000, 34,500. ICICI Bank and SBI have taken over a trend which I see continuing over months to come.
Get into a break now, but up next to chat with Habil Khorakiwala of Work Hard on the Q4 numbers and the outlook for the next year. Stay tuned.
$75 points on the Nifty is what we have. Welcome back. Let me just take a very quick look at where we are as far as stocks go. And why not look at the most active and traded part of the market. This is the F&O list right here. Well, what's on top? What's the number one name? Idea. Vodafone Idea, that is. The stock's at about just under 9 rupees. It's up 4%. HDFC AMC is at number 2 position with a 4% gain right now. There is Shriram Transport Finance with a 4% gain. Reliance is showing, traction and gains. ICICI Lombard had a pretty large day. I mean, the intraday is quite amazing on this one. The high today on ICICI Lombard was 1567. The stock's at 1492. I mean, that's huge. Almost a 75 rupee drop from the day's high as things stand right now. I'll get to more stocks in a bit, but Walkhard reported numbers, and we have with us Habil Khorakiwala, chairman of the company, who joins in. Mr. Khorakiwala, thanks very much for joining in. The vaccine fill and finish business from the UK was able to get you about £5 million for the quarter and £13 million for the year in total. Can you tell us what do you expect from this activity in FY22 this year, this financial year?
I think against this 13 million, we are projecting a 45 million business in the next year. Government, because this time it was only for a few months, last 4-5 months, 5-6 months. And from the orders we have received already and likely to receive. And in addition, we would also not only make for UK government, but also AstraZeneca. And that is the combined impact would be something like 45 million pound would be the forthcoming business, basically. And that would be a great booster to our top line as well as significantly to the bottom line also next year.
Mr. Khorakiwala, so just to put that number out there for everyone, you expect 45 million pounds as peak revenues from fill and finish supplies to the UK government?
We don't know about the peak part, but next year we expect 45 million. And we believe that since we are the only manufacturers in UK, this is a likely business to continue even in the years to come.
Sir, reports indicate that you all have approached the central government to help collaborate with the vaccine production. Is there any truth to these reports?
Yes. Yes, it is correct. Basically, we did discuss with the government. We offered them that we can, and India needs to remain a major supplier of vaccine for emerging market, India and emerging market. And we said we are prepared to invest and create capability of about 2 billion doses. And we wanted government help in 2 areas specifically. And we also committed that we will supply at a reasonable price to government, both at the center and state, whatever they want and whatever is their current price. So that we gave a long-term commitment to the government. Second, we also mentioned that we need their help. There are a lot of vaccine technology are there. So if they can help us to collaborate, that would be welcome. And we wanted that for our funding, we need a financial help for vaccine-related investment we may require, which I think government readily agreed to. Whoever has been interacting with us, the ministers and others, they said that is not an issue fundamentally. Because of the current vaccine policy, government already has, RBI has announced it, and the government is helping all vaccine manufacturers as far as the liquidity is concerned.
Okay, that's good to hear. 2 billion doses annually, and you're willing to make the investment needed for that. Could you just walk us through the dynamics and how you will be able to produce that? What is the collaboration or the help that you need from the central government?
The dynamics are very simple because it is, see, our approach is not a quick fix approach of what vaccine you require immediately, which we can only start sometime in September, October this year. Because we are also working with another party, and we would be able to finalize and announce in the next few weeks. And that is something like about 500 million doses we are discussing with them. And that is one. And obviously, what we are saying, India has to create a large capacity for sustenance of vaccine manufacturing. Because we believe, and I think all the scientists believe, that pandemic going to last for a few years. Even after pandemic goes away and it is under control, vaccination would be something which will be continued for many, many decades actually. So what is, therefore, India has to maintain its position and we supply more than 50-60% of global vaccine. And that is a leadership position India should maintain. And obviously, India needs a number of players to fulfill this requirement, because you are looking at 10 billion, north of 10 billion vaccine, even only in emerging market minus developed world and China. So India and the rest of emerging market has that potential. And amongst emerging market, I think India is the only country which has a great potential with number of manufacturers, and therefore government recognizes that it is not only meeting current vaccine need, but sustained vaccine need for India and the rest of the world at affordable prices, and maintain our dominant position which we have in supplying of vaccine in the world.
Mr. Korakiwala, just to clarify, discussing what with whom exactly for 500 million doses that you mentioned?
I cannot specifically mention the name of the company because we have signed only interim agreement, understanding technology transfer and others are going on. But once we finalize the agreement, I can mention the name of the company.
So Wockhardt will make 500 million doses of the vaccine. I understand this is preliminary, but is the tech transfer going on right now?
That is correct. Both we will manufacture the API, the vaccine, as well as the final product. And this would be manufactured at our existing Aurangabad facility. And we would be repurposing the plant, basically, and investing significantly in plant and machinery.
No, got that. Mr. Korakiwala, just to kind of complete that loop, could you tell us which plants do you have that can be readily used for vaccine manufacturing?
We have existing plant, one in our Waluj facility, another at Chandra facility. These are the API manufacturing facility. We will repurpose the plant. As far as the finished good facility, we already have the facility in the house. So that will be utilized to manufacture the vaccine.
Sir, is importing and distributing any of the global vaccines an option, for instance, Pfizer or Moderna?
We are also talking to some vaccine suppliers for importing and distribution, but nothing has been finalized, and they are very initial stage of it is at a very, very initial stage. So I don't think I would like to elaborate on that.
Just to get back to the numbers, if you could tell us, why was the US market down so significantly, and what is the outlook for the coming year?
See, we had, because of this COVID situation, and the very fact that we didn't have too many new products to introduce, it had an impact because shutdown was very heavy in US last year. As I think US recovers, we should be able to gain a very significant part of lost sales this last year into the current year.
Could you tell us what is the outlook on the US FDA impacted plants, Waluj and Chikalthana?
FDA, we are basically offering one facility at Waluj. We would be requesting FDA next 2 weeks to come and visit our facility because we have complied with all their requests. So it depends on the COVID situation when they actually will come. So whenever they come, we hope that during this coming financial year, we should have at least that facility cleared by FDA. And obviously, subsequently, we will offer other facilities.
Okay. Now, many Indian pharma companies are tying up for COVID-19 drugs. Could you tell us if Wockhardt is doing the same? Any plans at all?
No, since we didn't have that kind of general purpose portfolio, we have not focused on any tie-up as far as the COVID drugs were concerned. We were more concerned on the vaccine business that was a strategic areas. In addition to this tie-up, we are already in discussion with next generation of vaccines, basically. And probably where there is a lot of good work is done, where because of the new variants are coming from time to time, and it is spreading. So the next generation vaccines, some of them are dealing with this kind of problem. Next generation of vaccines are also nasal and oral. So we are in discussion, and these are mainly R&D laboratories. They don't have manufacturing and business organization. So that is where we believe that we have a very good fit with those companies to take it forward.
Mr. Kharakiwala, it's a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for that. So that's Wockhardt talking about the Q4 numbers, the outlook, the COVID portfolio, and what the roadmap is perhaps when it comes to the vaccine manufacturing. We'll slip into a very short break on that note. On the other side, we'll discuss market funding.